series that I'm going to start in this video are fairly popular, and that's making me like really nervous because what if I don't like them? Anyways, the first book I'm going to start with is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I do have to say, I've had my eyes on this book for like over a year now because my roommate last year recommended it, and I didn't read it when she did. But now that the rest of the internet told me it was good, now I'm going to give it a shot. From what I understand, this series follows teenagers that have special gifts, so then they go and help out the FBI. I heard it was Teenage Criminal Minds. And if it's anything like Jennifer Lynn Barnes' other books, it's a YA mystery with a romance subplot. Not only is this book only like 300 pages, but the font size is fairly big. I love a good short book. So let's get started. I'm on page 99, so let me tell you my initial thoughts. So what I know so far is that we have a 17-year-old named Cassie who is like scouted out by the FBI to join a group of other teenagers called the Naturals because for some reason they can like see anything about a person. I really don't know how to describe it. Cassie's talent is she can look at someone and know a lot about them very easily. She's a profiler, you know, like profilers, you know, like Criminal Minds. So she like moved away from her family and moved into like a house with all the other naturals, and she's in like school. And I guess like the naturals' jobs are to like crack cold cases. Now my thoughts on this book are like that it's good. I don't think it's great so far, but I think it's good. Obviously, I haven't read very much, so I'm not super attached to the characters yet, but I can already tell that there's like a mysterious boy in here that she's totally gonna fall in love with, obviously. Like, she has to, and I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. I love romance. And it's kind of cool that it's like a little bit of a subplot. So like if people see me with this book, they're like, oh, mystery, okay. Instead of like just a romance book, it's mystery and romance. Also, something that I've noticed in like Jennifer Lynn Barnes' books is that she refuses to like actually curse in her books, and she will substitute curse words for like other phrases, and it's so cringy. It is so cringy. It's not as bad in this book as it was in the Inheritance games, but like some of the words, like I was reading it and I was like, what? I don't know, maybe I think it's a little silly now because like I'm an adult. I can say bad words if I want to. But like sometimes, you know, what the fudge? Really? 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 But the main character in this book specifically writes down, I don't like to curse or something along those lines. And like I feel like that's just not exactly necessary. And that's like my only pet peeve within her books. Other than that, I've been vibing through these first 100 pages. It's been such an easy read. And I do have to say, I can see myself reading the rest of this, but I can also see myself getting a little bored with it. So I do hope it starts to like pick up a little more than it did in the first 100 pages. Which like the first 100 pages are like setting up the story. So it like makes sense that it's like a tiny bit slow. Anyway, I'm gonna like continue to read this and I'll check back in a little bit. I feel like I should turn the lights off because I look better in the dark when you can't see me. I finished this book and I did not like it, and that's making me really upset because I am only seeing good reviews. This was so underwhelming and not good. So many people like this book, and if you are one of them, shout out to you. I'm so happy you like this book and the series. I personally will not be putting the rest of this series on my Christmas list. This is a 2-star for me. First off, I didn't really love the characters. There's a love triangle, and I did like the 2 guys in it. I just didn't like any other character in this book. I just thought the main character was a little bit annoying. But I've also seen people say, we always say the female main character is super annoying when like a whole bunch of bad things happen to her. And how would you act if all that happened to you? Okay, yeah, whatever. She's still annoying. Like, I didn't connect with the characters. And for me, I really need to connect to the characters to like a story. And I just didn't. I think parts of it were predictable, but that's not necessarily why I didn't like it. I wasn't the biggest fan of the plot. I was kind of like, okay, this is like ridiculous. Like, my suspension of disbelief like was not there. And like the FBI hiring teenagers, like I've read fantasy. It really doesn't take that much for me to believe in what is happening in the book, but really, I saw someone on Goodreads say this was a Criminal Minds fan fiction for people that are under 15, and I think it's really funny, and it's not wrong. Obviously, this is YA, and it's written for a younger audience, but I love so many YA books, and I, like, don't even think that's it. Like, it felt juvenile for YA. Like, it felt more like a middle grade Harry Potter, Percy Jackson type level at some points. I feel like I can predict what I'm gonna rate a book before I actually start it, and I predicted that I was gonna rate this 4 stars, and then I didn't, and now I'm just really sad about it. But this just goes to show everybody can have a different taste in books. I think I'm gonna read Brutal Prince next, and then I'll get to the Assassin's Blade, and then King of Wrath. But I do have to say, after reading, like, The Naturals, like, everyone's loving The Naturals right now, I'm getting nervous to read this. My friends keep telling me this series is going to change my life. And, like, I do want to read a life-changing series, but I will do that after I read Brutal Prince and just think about the Mafia. This series is fairly long, and I really like the covers. And this book has pictures. It's been a long time since I've read a book with pictures, so I'm, like, excited about that. The back of this book is so intriguing. This is the Irish Mafia in Chicago. I'm familiar with Chicago. So basically there's 2 families, the Griffins and the Gallows. The Griffins and the Gallows, you know, they got bad blood. Griffins and the Gallows have been battling for control of Chicago's underworld for generations. Ada Gallo crashes a Griffin party and like sets fire to their library. And so her father sets up an arranged marriage between her and the Griffin's eldest son. So what I'm hearing is enemies to lovers, where they're like actually enemies because it's with the Mafia. I don't know. I'm gonna read it and hopefully I'm gonna be entertained. I just want a quick read. I'll keep you updated on if I like this. The girl that has freckles likes to read and does ballet? I am just over 2/3 of the way through the book, so I thought I would tell you my thoughts. If we're being honest here, I'm not loving this book. It doesn't bother me that, like, the characters are morally gray and are a part of the Mafia and have more than likely killed people before. Like, I don't really care. I'm just like, okay, slay, mamas. Like, you know, you do you. What I can't stand about this book is how Callum treats women as a whole. I'm just having a really hard time understanding how people can like this story when he doesn't treat her like a person. And she's also kind of annoying. Yeah, that being said, I don't like either of the main characters in this. Like, they're just, ugh. But there's, like, other characters in this book that I like. I know these are more so, like, interconnected standalones. So because I like the other characters, I might continue on with the series. I feel like this book has more mixed reviews than, like, The Naturals did. Like, more people hate on this. But still, so many of the people I, like, follow or are friends with on Goodreads have rated this, like, very highly and really like it. And I just, is there something wrong with me? I feel like I'm just being so critical. But at the same time, I can't say this is a good book because I don't think it is. But I'm so far into it, I might as well continue to read it. And I guess I'm, like, a little bit curious as to how this story ends, but that's just because so many things that are completely out of pocket keep happening. Anyway, I'm gonna try to finish this today. I don't know if that's realistic or not. I just want to get this over with because I'm tired of reading this story. I finished it and I didn't like it. It's no from me, so 2 stars. It was very much giving Wattpad, which like I'm fine with, but it's like bad Wattpad. Also, for those of you who love this book, do not take what I'm saying to heart. You know, we all can have different opinions. I just did not particularly like this. Also, I thought the 3rd act conflict was just kind of stupid and came out of nowhere, and it was trying to be like, oh, bang, this book is crazy, it's gonna blow your mind. Mafia! I was like, been there, done that, seen this. The end felt very rushed, which I mean, I wanted it to end, so I was fine with that. Before that conflict happened, I was willing to give the other books in the series a shot because I liked the other characters, but like after reading that, oh, this is really mean, but I think I lost brain cells reading that. So I'm not gonna continue this series. Also, this book gets 2 stars instead of 1 because it was like a little bit entertaining. I can't lie. It was a little bit entertaining, but it wasn't good. Anyway, now I'm gonna read this. We're gonna start the Throne of Glass series. I read the first chapter of this a couple of weeks ago. Then I put it down. So I'm gonna like reread that. And hopefully I'm gonna like this book and series because I really want to read the whole series. But I had hope I would like the first 2 books in this video, so we'll see. This book is made up of 5 novellas. And I just finished the first one, and I'm not counting each novella as a separate book on Goodreads. I thought about it, but then I looked to see if like other people did it, and most people count this as just like 1 book instead of 5, which is such a shame because imagine being able to say you read 5 books in such a short period of time. I'm liking this book so far. There are a couple of moments that are kind of boring, but I like the characters. And that's like the most important thing for me when I read is I have to like the characters because if I don't like them, I'm not going to like the book. From what I know about the series, this book is not the most entertaining. So I feel like it's going to be a pain trying to like power through the first couple of books. But once I'm like really attached to the characters and really into the story, like I feel like I'm going to really love this. The next novella in here is only 40 pages, so I'll read that and check back in and tell you all of my thoughts. Novella 2 complete and like nothing happened. I don't know, I'm gonna keep reading and hopefully have a better update next time. But I should because I think the rest of the novellas are like 100 pages, so more can happen. I finished it. After I finished the 3rd novella, I didn't really have much more to say about like my thoughts on the book. I feel like it was just the same. The 4th novella is probably my favorite. It was just so cute and I was just like, this is great. But I finished that when I was in public. And so then I decided, let's just get started on the 5th book. I read the majority of the 5th novella on the bus today and learned some pretty shocking information while there were people around me and I was just like, straight face. But yeah, I think the 5th novella was a little messy and the plot wasn't necessarily my favorite, but I have faith that everything had to happen and is like circled back to in like the rest of the series. I'm gonna say my rating is like a 3.5 maybe star. This isn't one of those books where I was like, oh, this is so good, I have to keep reading. Like, I was bored. But at the same time, like, I enjoyed it. I think it's good, but I don't think it's great. So I feel like it really fits in that, like, 3-star area. Anyway, After I finish my homework today, I'm gonna get started on this book. Also, I just like saw a post saying that the third book in this series actually came out the day I'm filming this, but I'm gonna get started on this later when I finish my homework. I'm gonna do my homework now, and then I'll start reading, and we'll have such a fun time. Days later, and I just now got over page 100. I'm really enjoying this book, and I didn't expect to enjoy it this much. Here's the thing. Anna Huang also wrote the Twisted series, and I really liked Twisted Games, and I somewhat liked Twisted Lies, which is the second and fourth books, but I despised the first book, and I didn't really like the third book. So I wasn't really sure what I would think of like this book, but I'm actually like really enjoying it. There are so many references to the Twisted series in here that I'm like reading it and going, I know what it's talking about. Even though I didn't love this series, I still like seeing other characters pop up. So our male main character, Dante, is very wealthy. Well, wealthy doesn't even do it justice. A billionaire, okay? He has a lot of money. And it's old money. Then our main character, Vivian, is also wealthy, but it's more so new money. Old money is respected more than new money is. Something happens and then a deal strikes between Vivian's father and Dante for an arranged marriage. This seems very similar to Brutal Prince, but I actually like this one. Anyway, I'm having a fun time reading this, and I'm gonna continue to read it and hopefully finish it soon. Because I'm also like about to get my hands on a copy of A Curse for True Love. And I have to say, if I'm in the middle of this book, I will not finish it to pick up A Curse for True Love. That book comes first. So let's hope I can finish it before I get my hands on that copy. Anyway, I'll check in. How mad does this make you? I finished King of Wrath. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Although the book is not perfect, I had such a fun time reading this and just really enjoyed the story. And a lot of the things that happened in the Twisted series that I didn't like did not happen in this, and that made it amazing. I liked the 2 main characters in this, and I really liked how they interacted with each other, and it was such a fun time. I also just love reading about rich people because their problems are just amazing, like blackmail. This book has like rich people dealing with blackmail and arranged marriages. Like that's so fun and cool. Well, I guess like not really if it were to happen IRL, but like fictionally, it is fantastic. And I do plan on reading the rest of the series. So this is the King of Sen series. So there's going to be 7 books, 1 book for each Sen, but only the first 3 are out, which are King of Wrath, King of Pride, and King of Greed. To do a little wrap up of all the books I read in this video, I started out with The Naturals, and I didn't like it, which is a very unpopular opinion, so like, give it a shot if you think it's interesting. Then I read Brutal Prince and also didn't like it. It's a mafia enemies to lovers arranged marriage. This is the first book in the Brutal Birthright series. Then I read The Assassin's Blade. This is the first book in the Throne of Glass series. It's about assassins. I don't know how else to describe what this is about. It's assassins and assassins. I honestly could not tell you what else is in here. It's a fantasy romance. I like this. I'm going to continue on with the series. And of course, I loved this. I'm going to continue on with the series. I hope you liked this video. And like if you did and you want to like or comment or something, like I would appreciate it. And I'm not going to say I'm going to see you soon, because I thought I was gonna see you soon last time, but then this video took me longer to make than I thought it would. So I'll see you at some point or another. Bye bye.